You are Locked On Nuggets POSTCAST, powered by Mile High Sports, part of Locked On Sports Denver on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Close but no cigar for the Denver Nuggets as they come up short tonight against the Boston Celtics on their home court. Your final score, 118-106. Welcome on into your Locked On Nuggets postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. Hope everybody is hanging in there out there after a tough loss for the Denver Nuggets, but frankly, not unexpected. Not unexpected. I think it was more surprising the fact that Denver was able to hang into this or hang around in this game. And look, I know there's no moral victories. These guys are pros, right? Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray were still out there. But unfortunately for the Nuggets tonight, there were some optimistic moments. There was some hope at times in this game, but they ultimately fall to the Boston Celtics. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on your Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. And for anybody listening on the Locked On Nuggets podcast feed, come on over to the YouTube channel as well, as we're breaking down Denver Nuggets basketball after just about each and every game throughout the course of the season. I'm your host, Aniello Piro. You guys can follow me on social media at Media by AP. And mixed feelings about this game here tonight. And the reason why the Denver Nuggets were, at least I didn't expect them to win this game. Frankly, I thought they might get blown out, especially with how Boston shoots the three-point ball, was because the big fella, Big Honey, the reigning defending league MVP, Nikola Jokic, was not out there tonight for Denver. He was ruled out with an injury before this game. So no Nikola Jokic, no Aaron Gordon. Of course, you still have Jamal Murray out there. You still have Aaron Gordon. Why do I keep saying Aaron Gordon? You still have Michael Porter Jr. out there. Christian Brown, Russell Westbrook, Peyton Watson, who I think had some great spots tonight throughout the course of the game. And Denver puts up a fight. So, like I said, there's no moral victories in the NBA or just in professional sports in general. But tonight is actually a game where you feel pretty good, I feel like, about the overall dynamic of how they played, right? Kind of in a vacuum. I think Denver did a good job of putting up a fight. But a loss is a loss. That's just the reality of the situation, as Denver falls now to 20-14 on the year. Their sixth loss at home this season. The Boston Celtics improved to 26-10. They are 13-4 on the road. So Boston is absolutely positively cleaned up on the road throughout the course of the season. But man, like I said, Denver did a good job of battling. And I think the frustrating part, we'll get into some of these dynamics throughout the course of the show here, is Boston did not shoot the three-point ball, very well at all tonight. And that's usually their bread and butter, right? Boston is able to kind of outpace some of these teams with their effectiveness from beyond the arc. And Denver actually outshot Boston tonight from three. So the fact that Denver was not able to capitalize on that is frustrating. You go into halftime tied up at, 57-57, and you feel like you're kind of you have a chance here, right? And there were some early moments where Denver got down early. I mean, they were outscored in the first quarter tonight, 37-25, but then they rallied in the second quarter thanks to Jamal Murray and a slew of other guys. They outscored Boston there in the second quarter, 32-20 as well. And then they kept pace there. They got outscored there in the third, 31-26, but, did a good job of hanging around at courses in this game. So it's frustrating. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, man, Boston is the reigning defending champion for a reason, right? I mean, they're just loaded with talent across the board. You've got two guys in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum that, are just in their prime of their careers, fresh off a championship, fielding themselves. Kristaps Porzingis, a little bit of a revival with the Boston Celtics in his role. You've got Al Horford, who could hit the three, Hauser, who could hit the three. So the Boston Celtics are capable of beating teams in a number of different ways. And while Denver, did a good job of kind of keeping pace, is the way that I would describe it, with Boston throughout the course of this game in spurts. Once we got to that, final 6-7-ish minute stretch of the fourth quarter, Boston turned the clamps on defense, and Denver, frankly, just did not have enough firepower on offense as well to kind of keep pace here with Boston tonight. But taking a look at it, like I said, no Nikola Jokic tonight for Denver. And really, what's interesting, when Jason Tatum, and it was an accident, do we have an ice gate on our hands? When that ice got thrown onto the court, it felt like that was kind of like a definitive momentum shift. After that moment, it was essentially all Boston for the most part, and Denver was unable to kind of keep pace here with the Boston Celtics. Alejandro, my man, hope you're doing well. He says, my guy Piro, thanks for all you do. Boston ugly to watch low-key. Murray's so unathletic. Westbrook plays harder than him. Yeah, but I don't think it's fair to compare Russell Westbrook to Jamal Murray in regards to play style because Russell Westbrook is a freak. He's like a chain. I don't even know what the right, he's foaming at the mouth to play, every single night, despite however old he is these days. The athleticism and the energy and the tenacity that Russell Westbrook brings to the lineup is not something that you see, especially in this era of the NBA. I don't want to say that the league is soft by any stretch of the imagination. It is a little bit, but he brings that energy every single night. And I actually thought Jamal, you had a little bit of a Murray flurry there in the second quarter. Let's take a look at Jamal's stats here tonight. Yeah, only 19 points. I think he had one bucket in the third quarter as well. And then, not a ton going on for him late in the fourth. And, I thought he did a decent job of distributing tonight. He had that alley-oop to Peyton Watson there in the fourth quarter. My mic's doing that thing where it likes to disconnect on me again. Apologies for that, folks. But, like I said, we'll dedicate, I think, an entire segment to Jamal Murray because I think tonight an opportunity to kind of step up as the quote-unquote second best player on the Denver Nuggets, and you just see how impactful Nikola Jokic is. Now, if Jokic is out and Aaron Gordon's in, does that make a difference? I think it does, definitely, because of what Gordon brings to you defensively. You're not going to get a ton of offense from Aaron Gordon, at least from a shooting perspective. Right, Gordon benefits most from cutting to the basket, grabbing rebounds, put back shots, whatever it might be when Nikola Jokic is out there. But like I said, we'll dedicate a lot of time here to Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., the two max contract guys that, had an opportunity to step up tonight for Denver. And neither one of them were able to eclipse 20 points tonight, which is just frankly unacceptable. It's just unacceptable to some degree because, like I said, they're max contract players for a reason. You expect them to be able to carry the water at times, and it just shows you not to turn this into an MVP topic show, but when it comes to, at a literal sense, most valuable player, there is no one player in the league that is more valuable to their team and creates more value on a game in and game out basis than Nikola Jokic. And I think you saw that tonight. It would have been interesting if Jokic was out there, man. Denver probably wins this game if Joker's playing tonight, but he's under the weather. They got a game tomorrow, so we'll see if he'll be ready to go for that one. He did not go through, I wasn't there tonight, but I don't think he went through his pregame routine. Him and Michael Porter Jr. typically warm up simultaneously at the same time on the court, and I know that was not the case here tonight. So Jokic was in the building, but unable to go tonight for Denver due to his sickness, and unfortunately, that results in a loss tonight for Denver, 118-106, your final score. We had a Dario Saric sighting in this game. He started tonight at center, did absolutely nothing. 17 minutes played for Dario, 0 points, 0 of 1 from 3. I guess he grabbed the rebound and had 4 assists and had a block as well. But, just the disappointment in the Dario Saric signing continues here for the Denver Nuggets. So an opportunity for Dario to try to maybe reassert himself, try to claim some minutes moving forward with a good performance tonight. And he was unable to do that. But it's a tough loss, but it's also one that I take with a grain of salt. There's a bit of an asterisk next to it. And I'm not one that likes to make excuses whatsoever for any team. But when you're without not only your best player, but the best player in the league against the reigning, defending NBA champions, look, that's a tall task for this Denver Nuggets team, especially with how up and down they've been playing throughout the course of the season. So it is disappointing, but you do, I think, feel decent about how they played throughout the course of the game because of the fight that they showed, and like I said, I'm not one for moral victories. It sucks to lose, right? You want to talk about a win. You want to talk about an upset. Denver was a 10.5 point underdog in this game, which Boston actually ends up covering because of how they pulled away late there in the fourth quarter. But it is one of those situations where, they were in this. They were absolutely positively in this. You had Julian Strawther knocking down some big shots. Peyton Watson, flying all around the court. Christian Brown hit a couple of big threes tonight for Denver as well. But it doesn't matter as they come up short tonight against the Boston Celtics, 118-106. So we'll see, an opportunity to bounce back here. But, I think it also shows you just how the lack of depth that Denver has on this roster. I mean, tonight your starting lineup, Christian Brown, Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook, Michael Porter Jr., and Dario Saric. And then, you had 4 guys that played off the bench, but really only 3 guys that had meaningful minutes. I mean, Zeke Naji logged 5 minutes, no points. He did absolutely, literally zeros across the board, a -8 in the box plus minus, 0 points, 0 assists, 0 rebounds, 0 steals, 0 blocks for Zeke Naji in his limited run. And yet DeAndre Jordan, who tried to turn back the clock a little bit and played 20 minutes, and he didn't really do anything either. Only 1 point tonight for DeAndre, which came at the free throw line, of course. Grabbed 5 boards, had an assist, but, nothing really cooking. Strawther and Peyton Watson had pretty good games, by their standards as they continue to kind of grow and mature in their own right throughout the course of their young NBA careers. But just not enough when you're going up against one of the best teams in the league in the Boston Celtics. So that's what it is. That's the reality situation as Denver loses tonight, although they did show some fight. So we'll see if they can try to get back after it here in their next game, and away we go. So I'm going to hit my first break, guys, real quick. And if you guys got any thoughts, comments, questions, whatever it might be, opinions, go ahead and drop those in the comments section. As I always like to say, I'm the host of the show, but you, the fans, the listeners, the subscribers, are the ones that help me drive the conversation. So go ahead and drop some comments. Let me know how you guys are feeling out there. Are you somewhat satisfied because of how Denver played and the resiliency that they showed and the ability to kind of go toe-to-toe at times in this game despite not having Nikola Jokic? Are you disappointed because you felt like Denver could have, figured out a way to try to dig deep and get that win here tonight? Let me know in the comment section. We'll address it when we come back right here on your Locked On Nuggets postcast, talking a little Jamal Murray, talking a little Michael Porter Jr. Stick with me, folks. Back in just a moment. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at FanDuel real quick, because from big upsets to game-winning drives, the NFL playoffs, they are here, folks, and they are much, much better with our friends over at FanDuel, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. The FanDuel app gives you everything you need for live bets, same-game parlays, and so much more. I'm not even going to lie. If I could be objective here tonight, when that game was close, the live spread was down to Boston -5.5. I didn't bet it, but if I was objective, I would have probably hammered Boston just because I felt like what happened was eventually going to happen for the Denver Nuggets as they unfortunately lose tonight. But just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Of course, for any of the Denver Bronco fans that are also Denver Nugget fans, we got a big, big game. Denver Nugget fans as well. We got a big playoff game this weekend. The Broncos back in the postseason for the first time since winning Super Bowl 50. And Denver is more than a touchdown underdog. So if you think Denver can keep this game close, be sure to check out our friends over at FanDuel, guys, and let them know that Locked On Nuggets sent you. Okay, welcome on back into your Locked On Nuggets postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. Hope everybody in Nuggets Nation is hanging in there out there after a tough loss to the Boston Celtics. Your final score here tonight, 118-106. And like I said, Denver managed to put up a fight at points in this game, but just not enough to get past the reigning defending NBA champions. And like I said, we'll talk a little Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray here in this segment. But I think the most disappointing part of this game is you caught Boston on a night where they weren't efficient from three, or at least not as efficient as we're accustomed to them being. And Denver actually outshot Boston tonight from three-point land, not by much. But Denver was 14 for 36. Boston was 12 for 35. So Denver shot 38.9% from three, whereas Boston shot 34.3% from three. So, you got to be able to pounce. You got to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. When you're going up against a team like Boston, no Derek White tonight as well, the Colorado kid, but, just a relatively off night shooting wise for the Boston Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis got out to a hot start there in the first half. He finishes with 25 points, 1 of 3 from three, 9 of 18 from the field. But, Jason Tatum tonight really struggled from three. He was 1 of 9 from beyond the arc, but he more than made up for it with his efficiency with his score playmaking and shot making from the field. He finishes with 29 points, a plus 23 in the box plus minus in his 37 minutes played. Finishes with 4 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. So a good night for Jason Tatum, despite not knocking down some of those 3-point shots. Drew Holiday and Al Horford actually led the way tonight in 3-point shooting for Boston. Al Horford 3 for 5. All of his 9 points coming from 3-point land. Drew Holiday finishes with 19 points. He was 3 of 7 from 3. Jaylen Brown 0 of 1 from 3. Kristaps Porzingis 1 of 3 from 3. Sam Hauser is going to knock down his 3-point shots. He was 3 of 5 from 3. But really, we have seen the Boston Celtics just run teams into the ground with their 3-point shooting. So for Denver to be unable to take advantage of that is certainly frustrating. But, the two guys that you're going to look at here, Russell Westbrook actually lit it up from 3 tonight for his standards. He was 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. Led the team in 3-point shots, doubled up the next Nugget in regards to 3-point shots made tonight. And the frustrating part here is Jamal Murray, 1 of 5 from 3, and Michael Porter Jr., 2 of 7 from 3. 13 3-point shots between the 3 of them, and they're only able to knock down 3. I've been saying the number 3 a lot, but, you expect more. You expect more from guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. As I mentioned in the first segment there, these are the 2 other max contract players. Aaron Gordon is not a max contract player, although he might be more valuable to the Denver Nuggets than Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. right now. Just because of the way that he's playing, how he fits in with this team, how he fits in with Nikola Jokic. And so, like I said, this was an opportunity tonight for Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. to step up to the plate, and neither one of them, again, 2 max contract players. And look, I'm not trying to get too wound up in how much these guys make, but when you are, essentially capped out because of these guys, you need them to shoulder the load a little bit. You need them to carry their water and do their part. And, both of these guys had stat lines that we've seen with Nikola Jokic throughout the course of the season. 15 points for Michael Porter Jr., as I mentioned, 2 of 7 from 3. He did grab 10 rebounds, so a double-double for MPJ. You like to see that. His rebounding's been, probably the second best part of his game throughout the course of his NBA career. 3 assists for MPJ as well. But for Jamal, man, MPJ was a minus 16 tonight in the box plus minus. Jamal Murray, though, 19 points, 1 of 5 from 3. 4 rebounds in this game, 4 assists in this game, 2 steals. You just need more. I don't really know what else there is to say on that front. You just need more. Alejandro says, moral win here. P. Watt so tough, needs more playing time. I agree. And look, I found myself in portions of this game. I've come on here and I've been pretty critical of just the Nuggets as a whole this season at times. And I think it was the last show. It was either the first game against the Spurs or the second game against the Spurs. I forget exactly, but I was talking about Peyton Watson in his 3-point shooting and how sometimes you need to cover your eyes because of how ugly it could be. But, these are growing pains. These are learning experiences for guys like Peyton Watson and Julian Strawther. And I have no doubt, at least more so, I believe a little bit more in Peyton Watson and his ability to kind of develop and mature in this league, maybe a little bit more than Julian Strawther, because I think Peyton Watson, he's just an athletic freak. He's lanky. He's got a lot of positive attributes, whereas Julian Strawther is going to have to improve his ball handling and improve his efficiency, if he wants to hang around in this league long term. And, I thought they did really well in their minutes tonight. Obviously extended run for both of these guys. Julian Strawther with 27 minutes played, 19 points tonight. He was 3 of 6 from 3. A couple of rebounds as well, 2 assists from Strawther, and then Peyton Watson, doing it on the offensive side of the offensive side of the floor and the defensive side of the floor. 14 minutes for P. Watt. He was 2 of 3 from 3. You love to see that. 4 rebounds, 4 blocks as well. But there are a couple instances there throughout the course of the game where not switching, not being close to the rim, the rebounding, another dynamic that we always like to talk about with this Denver Nuggets team. So, you kind of have to take the good with the bad with the young guys in Peyton Watson and Julian Strawther, just because they're young guys, right? These are guys that don't have a ton of, tenure under their belt playing in the NBA. So, the other thing that you look at tonight is Denver had 16 turnovers, which led to only 13 points for Boston. So they could have been a lot worse off in that department, but still 16 turnovers isn't really going to get you very far. They were out rebounded tonight, 41-39. The field goal shooting as well. Denver, shot 46%, so you'll take that, but not when Boston's shooting 50%. Boston was 44 for 88 from the field compared to Denver, who was 40 for 87. So, like I said, it is a little bit of a moral victory. As we had the comment there from Alejandro. I completely agree with that take, but still, you want to see more. You want to see more. And, I laughed to myself a little bit today because I saw a graphic on Twitter where, the Nuggets, I think, have like the fifth longest odds, or shortest odds rather, to win the NBA Finals. So, Vegas is still looking at Denver as, one of the top teams in the NBA. I know Nuggets fans are frustrated. Everybody's frustrated just because we feel like Denver isn't playing to the level in which we've seen them play before, right? But that's just kind of how this season has been, man. And I've told you guys, I've been waiting until the new year to kind of cast my firm judgment on this Denver Nuggets team. And here's what I'll say on that front. I'm still kind of formulating my opinions. They're not good enough to beat Oklahoma City. They're not good enough to beat the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series. They're not good enough to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 7-game series if they were to get to the NBA Finals and somehow get past, the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, again, still about a month-ish, 5-6-ish weeks until we get to the NBA trade deadline, and we'll see what Calvin Booth has up his sleeve in regards to trying to improve this roster. We saw the Avalanche, in hockey, make a couple of trades here at the goaltender position and a couple other spots as well, and that's kind of rejuvenated them and kind of revamped their season a little bit because the Nuggets and the Avalanche both got out to these shaky starts, and the Avalanche got aggressive. They recognized that they had some holes that they had to fill. They filled those holes. And now it looks like, I'm not going to say they're a Stanley Cup favorite by any stretch of the imagination, but they're well on their way. You feel a lot better about the trajectory of the Avalanche after the moves. And so I wonder, I know it's two different sports, two different situations, but Denver, I think, can benefit from a bit of a recharge, a revamp, whatever it might be. So I don't know, kind of like I said, disappointing night from Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, but you are happy with the overall effort that you saw from the Denver Nuggets going up against a team in the Boston Celtics that are the reigning defending NBA champions. All right, folks, let me hit my final break. When we come back, we'll get ready to put a bow on the show. This one's flying by. Lots to talk about tonight. A lot of opinions, a lot of conversation. So if you got any thoughts or opinions, comments, questions, whatever it might be, go ahead and drop those in the comment section, and we'll get to them when we get back right here on your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Back in just a moment, folks. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks, because basketball season is heating up and there's no better way to get real money action while watching your favorite NBA stars than with Prize Picks. Whether you're a diehard fan or just love some friendly competition, Prize Picks makes it fun and easy to turn your basketball knowledge into cash. Here's how it works. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Think LeBron's going to drop 30 points, or maybe Luka's going to get more than 8 assists. Well, Prize Picks lets you make your predictions and put your money where your mouth is in just 60 seconds. I've been using Prize Picks all season long, and let me tell you, it is addictive. Last week, I picked Jason Tatum for more than 29 points and Anthony Edwards for more than 25 points. That's the kind of action I'm talking about. And with Prize Picks Flex Play option, even if one of my picks does not hit, I can still double my money. Plus, once I hit, I get my money fast, sometimes in as quick as 15 minutes. It's honestly the best way to keep the game exciting. Now's the perfect time to join. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. No need to win to get the bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Check out our friends over at Prize Picks and let them know that Locked On Nuggets sent you. Okay, welcome on back into your Locked On Nuggets postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. Hope everybody in Nuggets Nation is hanging in there out there after a tough loss for the Denver Nuggets, but unfortunately, one that is not too surprising, as Denver was without the big fella, Nikola Jokic. He was unable to go tonight due to an illness, so hopefully they get him back sooner rather than later. But, a loss is a loss. Boston has 10 losses on the year, as do the Nuggets now, or the Nuggets have 15 losses, excuse me. I was looking at the home record there for a moment, but I don't even want to say that one got away tonight from Denver, just because, like I said, it's hard to expect this team to win any game without Nikola Jokic, because that's just how impactful and important and valuable he is to this Denver Nuggets team. That's just the reality of where we're at with the Denver Nuggets. So, they'll have an opportunity to get back after it here sooner rather than later. But looking at it tonight, man, we talked about Dario Saric an opportunity for him to try to reinsert himself into the rotation. He did absolutely nothing in his 17 minutes played. Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray disappointing. Russell Westbrook, man, you love to see it. I mean, he's found a home here in Denver. I love, and look, it hasn't been perfect, but I think you can make the argument that right now this is the best basketball that Russell Westbrook has played in the last 3 or 4 years. I really think you can make that argument. 33 minutes played tonight for Russ, 4 of 9 from 3. I mean, he was doing it all. Finishes with 26 points. He had 9 rebounds in this game, 6 assists, a steal, a block. He did have 8 turnovers, though, which is not good. But, you like what you saw from him in the scoring department for sure. And then really outside of that, we talked Peyton Watson, good, making the most of his minutes, growing, learning as he goes along. Julian Strawther, same thing, 19 points for him, 3 of 6 from 3. So, this is a game that the young guys will benefit from. I'm not sure how much Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. are benefiting from a loss like this. Frankly, I think, like I said, you just come to expect a lot more from these guys at this point in their careers with what they're making and their experience in the league. But for guys like Peyton Watson and Julian Strawther, a lot of positivity that I think you can take away from this game. And this is a game, like I said, that they'll be much better off for moving forward because of the experience that they got. But it is what it is tonight, folks. It is what it is. It's frustrating that Denver was not able to take advantage of a poor, or rather an off 3-point shooting night for the Boston Celtics. But looking at the upcoming schedule here for Denver, they're going to get right back after it. A back-to-back tomorrow. They're home once again as they'll take on the Los Angeles Clippers. That is a 7 p.m. tip-off I'm seeing here on ESPN. Tickets as low as $12. So if you're in Denver, want to catch that game, you can get in the building for pretty cheap. But Kawhi Leonard is back for the Clippers, so that'll throw another wrinkle into things, and we'll see if Nikola Jokic is back as well. Because I think you don't want to be without Nikola Jokic for too long, and obviously it's an illness, so it's not an injury right now to him. You like to see that, but hopefully he can get back out there tomorrow. I know he was listed as questionable for tonight, so it wasn't like he was ruled out from the morning on. He was questionable, just unable to give it a go tonight for the Denver Nuggets. So we'll see if they can bounce back tomorrow against the Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and all those guys. Bones Highland, I'm sure he'll play some garbage time minutes as well. But, an opportunity, you like that. And Denver's been, 7-0 now on the second night of back-to-back. So they'll try to go to 8-0 tomorrow when they take on the Los Angeles Clippers. But, all right, folks, that is going to do it for me on the show tonight. I appreciate y'all tapping in. You guys can follow me on social media at Media by AP. Do me a favor. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button on your way out. That way you guys never, ever miss an episode of your Locked On Nuggets postcast. We'll be live after the game tomorrow. But for tonight, that's all she wrote tonight, folks. 118-106. Your final score as the Denver Nuggets fall to the Boston Celtics. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow on your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Have a good one, folks.